And a good day to you, Explorer Nation. John Lynskey here with part 3, the finale, the conclusion, the big ending to the milk truck story. Once again, my partner in crime here, Dr. E. Carter Burrus Jr. It's been a saga.
I know, and I'm getting a little misty. I was thinking about it's coming to a close, but all good things in life must come to a close. But that doesn't mean that memory can't stay with you forever.
You know, Dr. Burrus, don't be sad that it's over. Be glad that it happened. Dr. Seuss said
I like that. Dr. Seuss, a wise man.
Dr. Seuss. So, yeah, he probably could have gone to where we're picking up, Princeton University.
Princeton University, and as I told you in the very beginning, this is going to be an academic endeavor. At least we're going to physically visit the schools.
Yes.
But we went to Princeton in Princeton, New Jersey, and this is absolutely one of the preppiest schools you ever can imagine in your entire life. This is definitely a high-end place, and we were favorably impressed. And as we strolled around and went into the lunchroom and had our complimentary lunch, thank you for the administration of Princeton.
Do you guys feel like you fit in Princeton?
Yeah, oh yeah, we could dress up. We all had blazers and striped ties, and we looked pretty preppy ourselves. And button-down collars, of course, just like the guys at Columbus have. Of
course. You have a fun fact about Princeton too, don't you?
Yeah, yes, we do. And here we are going over the Philadelphia Memorial Bridge, leaving New Jersey. I believe it's going from New Jersey into New York, the Philadelphia Memorial Bridge. And we were kind of excited about this until we got to the middle of the bridge. And in the middle of the bridge, all of a sudden we noticed that there were flames coming out of the engine of a 49.5 horsepower motor. And we got out and we looked at it and we said, okay, this is the end of our trip. Everything was fried. Every wire, battery melted like a big blob of goo.
Do you know what caused this fire?
No, we have no idea. So we sat there and we said, well, now what do we do? We're in the middle of this bridge. Here we are. We're just stuck here. What should we do? And I came up with this great idea. I said, let's just close the hood and pretend like it never happened and keep on going. They said, yeah, but all the wires, they're all like wires and the batteries. Let's give it a try. We closed the hood, cranked it up, and kept on going.
That's amazing.
And that it even ran after this.
So no attempt to repair it, just adelante, forward?
That was it, adelante, onward and forward. And then, again, we're gonna go, here we're in Pennsylvania, and of course we're gonna go to Penn, University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, we're Ivy Leaguing it now.
Right.
And there's a statue of Benjamin Franklin,
very
founder,
important man in Philadelphia.
University of Pennsylvania. That's right, you're a guy, a Villanova guy yourself.
Exactly, downtown Philly.
And
what a city.
We had to go over there and watch this. And we also, while we're there, we had to go over to Gino's, world famous. Would you like to tell us a little bit about Gino's?
Well, see, Dr. Burrus, there's a tremendous rivalry in South Philly between Gino's and Pat's. Which one has the best cheesesteak? And I'll be honest with you, after sampling both, I became a Pat's guy. You know, but it's a very strong alliance. You know, it's either you're a Gino's guy or a Pat's guy. You can't be both. You know, you're a Dolphin fan or you're a Bills fan. You can't be both.
Well, the only way for me to describe this Gino's and Pat's, we went to both of them, was think in Westchester, Arbetters.
Of course.
It's Gino's is like
Perfect.
Arbetters in Philadelphia, and
it's an institution.
It's something I'll never forget. I really like that. Gino's. There's a picture of us. The truck, I don't know whether I mentioned this before, had a name. It was called the Mother Duck. Not the Mother Duck, the Mother Duck. Mother Duck. And we had a life preserver because we're ready for anything.
You never, failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Very good.
Safety first.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's one of our friends that would go along with us, and we used to have an inspection station in a lot of states where they would come and make sure that your car ran, the windows went up, windshield wipers, and he decided to have his picture taken in front of the official inspection station, which, didn't make any sense at the time, but Why not?
Why not? Oh, here we are.
Now we're going to New York City. This is something we'd been thinking about for a long time. This is our first visit to New York City, the Big Apple. Oh, yeah.
Skyscrapers and everything.
And we were on one frigging mission. Did you say frigging mission? One mission. And that was to go to what we felt was the epitome of New York high-class environment. We're going to go to the Waldorf Astoria, legendary Waldorf Astoria. And there it is. There it is. We pulled up in the milk truck. This hotel is iconic.
Yes.
Anything that's ever happened in New York happened here.
Did you valet?
We valet parked at the Waldorf Astoria. The valet came out and he says, "What do you guys want? Deliveries in the back?" No. We're going into the cocktail lounge. And he said, "You want me to park this piece of junk?" They said, "Watch your language, sir." And so then he valet parked it for us. We went into the Waldorf Astoria and had our cocktails. It was probably one of the better cocktails I've ever had.
You get what you pay for, no doubt,
And
Of course.
not too far from Waldorf Astoria, I see an Ivy League theme going here. We're going over to Columbia University, and this was really right in the middle of the city, Columbia University, and a higher learning institution. It was really spectacular. And but Columbia University is right next to the largest Black area outside of Africa, and it might even be larger than that. It's called Harlem.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through Harlem on our way to Columbia University, and we're going to see something that to this day I keep in my memory forever. Who do you think that is, Mr. Lynskey?
Is that Malcolm X?
Yes, it is. And he is giving a presentation there in Harlem in which we were there. And this was quite exciting because some of the crowd was hostile, some was friendly, but they were definitely fired up. But we had a chance to go hear in person Malcolm X. And for those of you that are younger and don't remember this, you go look it up, Google it up, and you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised we went there and lived.
Yeah, he was a firebrand.
Yes,
there's
he was.
no question about that. I liked his glasses, though.
Classic glasses,
I
and he'll
love the
eventually
glasses.
get assassinated.
Yeah.
But he was a dynamic speaker.
That's pretty interesting that you went to a Malcolm X rally.
Yep.
Wow. Yale.
Yep. Right now here we are in Connecticut. We're going to Yale University.
Well, you are really hitting
These
the institutions of higher learning.
completely. I mean, we are just blown away by the preppiness of these schools. And it's still like that today. Nothing has changed. So
Were you starting to feel a little Ivy League-ish?
Well, I didn't. We never felt like we really belonged. We were just interlopers, and we would go in and we tried to fit in, but we knew we didn't belong. It really wasn't us. Okay, now my friend Jack, who's the captain of the milk truck, he said, "You know what? I've got a roommate at University of Florida that lives in upper state New York in Utica." And let's go up there and let's visit him. Remember, there's no rules, no guidelines, no timetable. We just go wherever we want to go.
Whichever way the wind blows.
So we're going to go to this, on our way up there, we go through this little town called Ellenville, New York. Now, surprisingly enough, there is a large Ukrainian, how apropos for today, a Ukrainian, and they were having a Ukrainian festival. Well, not one to be left out of a festival. We're going to the Ukrainian festival. And here are a few of our Ukrainian ladies.
Babushka ladies, yes.
Tatiana and Olga. And again, you know, we were going there having a good time. And I went back to the milk truck, and these two ladies were in that milk truck with Billy. Now, you know, we told Billy, look, Billy, when you're in strange places, you don't know who's a boyfriend, who's a girlfriend or anything. It didn't matter to Billy too much. But anyway, we had to ask the ladies to leave. I'm sorry, because we had a journey to continue.
Yeah, you had places to go.
Tatiana and Olga. Okay, now, what do you see there?
Vassar, that's a world famous.
Okay.
woman's institution.
But one of the things that we said we were going to do, and we made a promise to our Marist brothers. Remember, we're all Marist.
Yes.
We are going to visit you at Marist College, some of the brothers that were here teaching at the time, and we're going to come visit you in Marist College.
Okay.
Did we announce that we were arriving? No, of course not.
No need.
But we're going to go, and it's located in beautiful Poughkeepsie, New York. Beautiful, right on the
Hard
edge.
on the banks of the Hudson.
The
Yes.
Hudson River is beautiful.
Yes.
So we pull into town, and we pulled into a gas station and said, where's the college? We knew it was in Poughkeepsie. We knew that much. We knew the Marist brothers
But you
were there.
didn't specify which college, did
That
you?
was correct.
See?
So they directed us over to Vassar, which at the time was an all-female
Yes.
school. It isn't today. So we pulled into Vassar, really upscale, very nice, and we saw walking around Vassar all these young ladies, and we're looking at each other. Hey, these Marist brothers got it pretty good up here. They got it pretty good. And Billy said, I thought they took vows about poverty.
Certain
and,
things, yes.
Yeah, and I said, well, whatever vow they took, I like it. I like it.
It's an interesting vow here,
so
yes, sir.
we walked in and asked for the Marist brother. One brother in particular, Brother Edmund, was our history teacher who inspired me, who inspired you. And they said, where do you think you are? They said, we're at Marist College. No, that's right down the road. You're at Vassar. And all the girls are giggling and laughing at us and stuff. And, you know, we accepted it.
Did they ask you in for lunch or anything?
No, they just, we were an amusement to them.
So that you were sent on your way?
Yeah.
Down the road.
Summarily submissed.
Yeah, down the road.
Okay, so here we pull into Marist College. And the one brother that was our history teacher here was now the vice president of Marist, Brother Edmund Cashin. So we went out and looked for him. And we also had two members of our class, our graduating class, were becoming Marist brothers. And one is the iconic Michael Dean. The other was Jerry Bowden. And we came over there, and Brother Yu, who would later on be principal of Columbus. So we're going to go find them. And they were so gracious. They said, okay, you guys can go sleep in the dorm. You can stay there. Here's a picture at Marist College with Mike Dean on the left. For those of you who might remember Mike, Brother Edmund Cashin, Jack, Billy, and Brother Yu, and me.
That's Brother Hugh right next to you
That's
there?
Brother Yu.
Wow.
And having my iconic stance with one leg cocked up on a milk carton. Now, Brother Yu, ironically enough, when he was principal here, he started the Columbus Flying Club.
Yes, he did.
And the Columbus Air Force, and we did have Columbus airplanes.
Yes.
Little known fact.
Out behind here. But for a moment, though, let's talk about the great Mike Dean. They don't make them like that anymore.
We played football together, we played track together, and he was one of the more unique people that had ever gone to Columbus, or one of the unique people that I ever met. He had a motor scooter that he drove to school every day that was painted bright yellow. They don't make them like this anymore. It was called a Cushman.
Cushman, yes.
And periodically, it had no gears. You just centrifugal, you make the accelerator go, and it would go as fast as you could make your feet push it to get it started. But he drove one, and of course, periodically we would go and take his motor scooter and drive it around. Wait a minute, did he give you permission? No.
Of course not.
Permission wasn't necessary.
Doesn't he look like Clint Eastwood in a cassock there?
He was pretty good.
That glint in his eye.
I'm trying to think whose classroom it is. At the end of C building, who's in that classroom now? It's one down from Mr. Pino. That was his classroom. That was his world.
Oh, that room. Things happened in that room.
Yes, they did. He had a nest of pigeons that would come visit him every day, and he had a love-hate relationship with these pigeons.
Yeah, he loved to hate birds. Yes, he loved to hate them. A great man.
That's
sorely
right.
missed.
No longer with us.
God bless him. Well, what is going on here?
All right, there we are. We're at Marist College, and we're looking inside the engine to make sure, after that big fire, that everything's okay. And we were assured that no matter what damage was, it was okay. We could still carry on. And one of the unusual things, Brother Yu said, if you guys want to go around and look around the area up here, I said, yeah, okay. He said, okay, I'm going to take you around, and I don't want you to address me as a brother. I'm just one of the guys hanging out. And we said, oh man, this is pretty cool, because these brothers back then wore the
Well, yeah.
Brother John Cassakes
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
white
yeah.
thing. And we've never seen him in
Now,
like
did he go
civilian-
in civilian clothes?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to tour us. He didn't want to bring attention to himself.
Okay.
So he's going to take us around to some of the nightclubs and folk places. Wait a minute. Didn't they have a folk festival or something in the area somewhere?
Newport?
No. Woodstock. Woodstock is not too far away
Oh,
from
yeah,
here.
Well, that was not exactly a folk festival, but yes, yeah.
It didn't happen yet, but
No,
we
no.
went to Woodstock. But I just put this in there so you
I
can
think you
kinda see
should.
that.
Yes.
Woodstock, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I maybe misspoke when I called it a folk festival.
Yeah, I was thinking, more Bob Dylan and Joan Baez. Woodstock went a different direction, but very colorful, no doubt.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing you would see at that festival.
And there we are, Utica.
Okay, now his friend lived in Utica. Okay, Utica, New York. It's got two things: Utica University and a brewery that brewed a beer called Utica Club, and it only was sold in Florida and here. We were very intrigued by this Utica Club. You could go into a 7-Eleven and buy a can of beer, or you could buy a miniature wooden keg that you had to tap and put in a spigot in the end of it.
That's old school right there.
So we had to go visit.
Of course you did.
And we had to go, of course we visited the university. Then we went over to the brewery. Utica Club.
Look
It's
at
still
that.
made today, but I don't think they do it in Florida. And when we found out something unusual, you could take a tour of the brewery, and at the end, they would give you complimentary food and glasses of beer. So we said, if this was great once, wouldn't it be great 5 times in a row? So after a while, they would say, haven't you guys been through here? And then we started, painting like a mustache on and putting glasses on. I don't think we fooled
Do you
anybody.
think, I was going to say, do you think you really fooled
No,
them? They
no,
were
we-
they were just nice to you.
We didn't fool anybody. So then we went and found Jack's friend. This is totally unannounced, who lived in what was called the Finger Lakes up there.
Gorgeous area there.
Completely.
Yes.
And he lived on a lake, and we're going to go water skiing. There I am in the boat, we're going to go water skiing. And the one day I remember about water skiing is we went out, and it had like a waterfall that lowered about 50 feet down to another lake. And when people are water skiing, there's supposed to be someone watching by law. What happens to the water skier? We didn't care.
Yeah.
So I'm water skiing, I fall off the water ski, and they just keep drifting me away. And I'm saying, well, why am I drifting toward there? And then I got real close to a waterfall that I almost went over. But I'm okay. Don't worry about me.
You're still here.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the guy who we visited. And it was nice. And we stayed in his cabin up there.
That's a
and we had
gorgeous
great time.
area. Lake Canandaigua, that area,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Now,
Oh.
we're running low on money. So we figured, okay, sometimes when we get a job in a place, and there was a company called Manpower. It's still in existence today. And you just go stand there, and you just stand, and somebody would come by and pick you out and say, I want you. And you don't know what you're going to do, but you knew you were going to get a $10 paycheck at the end of the day. Yeah, $10. So this little guy came up to me, and he said, we're all standing there together. He said, hey, you, Tiny. Yeah, he called me Tiny. He said, you ever work with lumber? And I said, yeah, I helped my dad out around there. He said, come on with me. So he got me in a car and drove me, I don't know, 20 or 30 miles to this railroad car that was stacked filled with lumber. And he said, take all that lumber out of there. I said, I don't know how they got it in there. He said, get it out. I had no money, no lunch, no anything. I mean, we're getting poverty stricken now. And so I unloaded it, and we came back the next day. I come back to the Manpower place. Hey, where are my friends? Oh, they said you can come see them over at the brewery. They went back to the brewery, and they said, come back tomorrow. You did good work. I said, no way, I'm going back there. They never got a job. I got my $10.
You got your $10,
We got
but
our $10.
you earned that $10.
Okay, now,
Oh, here we go.
this has been going on for time immemorial. If you're going to get married and you're of a romantic nature, you go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Okay, today we're going to some island in the Caribbean. I think you just came back from one.
You're correct.
Trinidad and Tobago. And
Turks and Caicos, yes.
Turks and Caicos.
But you're right about Niagara Falls. Back in the day,
This is, the Niagara River goes a border between Canada and the United States. and it's the most spectacular falls you've ever seen. Let's go to Niagara Falls. We heard a lot about it. There are the falls. And by the way, it was very sporty back then to put yourself inside a barrel and throw yourself in the river and go off the Niagara Falls and see if you could live. People actually did this.
Yeah, times were different.
That's
a great shot.
A great shot. You can see the milk truck. It's beautiful. You know, there. Now, something's going to happen here that I'm not really proud of. I'm a little embarrassed by. Absolutely, you do not want to do this at home. Remember, this is 60 years ago, and we're going to do things that cannot be done today. Okay, we're getting real hungry. The Canadian border is on the other side. We have no money. All we have is a credit card, Phillips 66. So we're going to say, well, we can go get candy and stuff. I said, I have an idea. You guys stay with me. This is very strange, very weird, but stay with me. Okay, there happened to be a Holiday Inn across the street from the falls. I said, you know what happens in a Holiday Inn? Yeah, people go there and get dinner and stuff. And I said, yeah, when they get finished with their dinner in their rooms, don't they put their trays outside the rooms? And sometimes there's uneaten food on those trays. They said, Jack said, this is really, I mean, we've done some disgusting things, but this is beyond that. Billy said, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. So we go into the motel, Holiday Inn, acting like we're guests, and start walking up and down the hallways.
Did you find any substance?
I'm going to show you.
Oh, boy.
Okay, there's Billy. Now, the first place we go, we find some beer, can of beer. Billy's going to drink the beer. Then there was a glass that looked like a rum and Coke. Billy starts drinking it, and it has a cigarette somebody put in there, burned out. So it's getting worse. But there is really some good food in there that people have not digested or even put in their mouth yet. So we became very nourished, and it got us on, even though today this is one of my greatest regrets, that I let myself go down that road. Mr. Lynskey, any comment on this?
You know, we learn as we go, Dr. Burrus, and sometimes we learn what to do, and in this case, probably what not to do.
Now look at there. This is
that
what
looks rather gourmet.
We could lift that thing up there.
There could be a sirloin under there,
or half-eaten eggs and
perhaps.
Bacon. Okay, we did that. Okay, now where are we going to go? Okay, let's go back we're going to go through Canada. We're in Canada now. And let's go back toward Michigan State. On the other side of Michigan State is a city, of Detroit, is a city called Windsor. And there's a bridge, bridge that goes across.
Yes.
So let's go there. We'll meet one of my friends in Detroit, and then we'll go to Michigan State, and then we'll go on to Chicago. I mean, we're freewheeling.
No, you guys are all over.
Yeah, okay. If you notice that sign, there's a London, Canada.
Yes.
And we're not quite sure whether we were in the right country, right continent, so we're debating that. Are we on London? So we're going. Okay, we get over to Detroit on Windsor, and we ran out of gas. Okay, so we had to go and bum some gas. So we got some gas. I mean, we're getting really low on funding. So we're on our way to Windsor. Okay, we get to Windsor. To cross that bridge costs $10. We do not have $10. So for some reason, I said, okay, I got an idea. I have an old girlfriend who lives in Detroit, and I'm going to call her on the phone. They said, this is never going to work. It's never going to work. I'm going to have her come across the bridge and loan me $10 so we can get the milk truck across. They said, you can try, but this is not going to work.
Did you part on good terms with this young lady?
Yeah, I mean, good enough to call her up and say, can you loan me $10? So, no, it's going to cost her $10 to come her way, $10 to go back.
So it's really $20.
Yeah, so she came over and loaned us some money. We got the milk truck, and we went back in Detroit. I had another friend, an Armenian friend. See, this is what happens when you go to school in the Midwest. You meet people from all different kind of ethnic groups. Armenian, what are the chances of meeting an Armenian? So he lived there, and he said, okay, you guys can stay in my basement for a night before you continue your journey. At that point, I decided, okay, I've been on the road for 40 days. just like in the Bible,
Yeah.
40 days and 40
40
nights.
nights, yeah.
And I am going back to Miami. I'm going home. Jack and Billy, we're going to Chicago. We got the mother's credit card. How are you gonna get back to Miami? I'm gonna hitchhike. That means you're gonna
We do not attempt this today, of course.
No, I'm going to show you what's going to happen here.
Oh, my.
Okay, and there's Detroit. By the way, this is in the middle of all kinds of racial turmoil
Yeah.
where they're lighting the place on fire,
Yeah.
throwing things off overpasses on top of trucks. It was a little scary, but I'm going to do this. All right, so I said, take me to High 75, which goes all the way from Detroit all the way down here to Miami.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
It's
so I'm going to get
yeah.
on that. I made myself a sign with a little palm tree, Florida on one side. The other side was Miami once I got in there. And I'm going to say, okay, take me and drop me off. And we're going to part. We hugged each other and they said, we're on our way. Okay, so they took me to I-75 and this is where they dropped me off. Right in front of this sign. Could you read that sign for me?
Hitchhikers may be escaping inmates.
Yes.
That's not going to help your cause very much.
That's not going to help me get my ride.
No.
So I said, Jack, can you take me somewhere else? No, we're going over to Michigan State. And they're going to go over to Michigan State. They're driving right across, and they're going to stay with one of my old girlfriends there for a night.
Ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, the ex-girlfriends. So here I am. And for those of you who don't know what hitchhiking is, you put your thumb out, usually your left thumb, and hopefully you're waiting for somebody to come and give you a ride. Everybody did it. Guys, girls.
Yeah, it was a different time.
All around town. Today, your life would be in peril. You would not want to do this.
No.
But back then, this was common.
Yes.
I'm going here.
So the thumb is out.
Okay, now this truck is being driven. It comes by and stops. I said, I got to get out of here. I got to get a ride. So this guy stops in this truck. I said, what happened? I was going by an overpass and a bunch of people were up on the overpass and they threw a refrigerator on the top of the cab of the truck.
God.
And so if you want to ride, it's okay. I said, well, it's better than just standing here, so I'm going. So he gave me a ride 100 miles, heading south. Okay, this is what I dreamed was going to happen. A pile of girls in a car were going to pick me up. Oh yeah, this is it. This is every guy's dream. Here they come. They picked me up and I got in their car. Nothing happened. It was a dream though. It was a dream.
But nonetheless, it's better than being in a truck with a collapsed
That's
cab.
correct. Now, sometimes I'm going to go 2 days and 2 nights without any food. I did get water and nothing. And I would get dropped off sometimes in these dark, remote places that nobody would be around. And I just had to stand there and wait for a ride. This is one of these dark, remote places. Okay, I made it back 2 days and 2 nights.
That's not bad.
Did some interesting things happen to you along the way? Yes, but that's another story. And my life could have been in peril. This is what Miami International Airport looked like back then. The guy picked me up somewhere in Fort Lauderdale and said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Miami. The only problem is he had no seat he had a driver's seat, no back seat, no front seat. And there was a milk carton. He says, you want to ride? Yeah, I'll sit in the milk carton.
That's fitting. It was a milk carton.
Yeah, I sat in the milk carton. And he dropped me off at a gas station right across from Miami International Airport. That was a sign that used to be right there in Lejeune. Okay, he dropped me off. Okay, thank you, sir, appreciate it. Now what? Okay, my parents live in beautiful Shinley Park. How am I going to communicate to them that their prodigal son from the Bible has come home and they should come and pick me up? Okay, I go to the gas station attendant. Can you please give me a dime? They used to have these little boxes where you could put money in and call somebody.
Yeah, loan me a dime.
Okay,
yes.
So he gave me a dime. I get on the phone. My sister, I have 4 sisters. One of them answered the phone, the troubled sister. Yes, this is Carter. Carter's not here. He goes to school. Boom. What? And I can't wait to get a hold of her. And so I go into the attendant. Please, another dime. Okay, this is the last dime. Get in there again. The same sister answers the phone. This is me. It's Carter. Carter. Come tell the dad to come get me. It's a Sunday morning. They're all going to go to church. St. Teresa.
Of course.
Okay, so before they go to church, they're going to come get me. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, up drives my dad, 4 sisters, and my beautiful dog, Queenie, which I love. Queenie was a Boston Terrier. So Queenie got out, immediately came running over to me. Queenie didn't forget me, and peed all over my leg.
Well, that's a sign of excitement and affection.
And that's what I thought. And I just smelled like pee for a while. It was okay. All right, so we get back, and I tell my mom, I said, Mom, she said, are you hungry? Would you want anything? Yes, Mother. I'll take a dozen eggs and a pound of bacon. She cooked it for me. She said, what are you going to do now? I'm going to go up in my room and sleep. I went in there and I slept for one whole day, right through the day, right through the night. The next day, I heard on my front door, who's there? It's Jack. Jack, you're on your way to Chicago. The milk truck broke down in a little town in Michigan. See the star on it?
Yes.
When everybody's from Michigan, they say, where are you from? They hold their hand up like it's a mitten, and they point like where they are. Well, here's Hartford, Michigan, and Western Michigan, and the truck broke down in front of Ed's DX gas station. It cost $100 to get it fixed. They had no money.
Yeah.
Okay, so they abandoned the milk truck. We're walking away, Ed. We're walking away. Billy hitchhiked to Chicago, and Jack decided to hitchhike back to Miami, which ended up in my out in front of my door, knocking on it. So then I said, "Okay, Jack, what are we going to do now?" He said, "Well, let's go down to one of our favorite hangout places called the Ale House." So we went to the Ale House, and we had beverages. This was one of our drinking places. And then we said, what are we going to do tonight? Let's go to the drive-in theater. Little known fact.
Let's all go to the
drive-ins were so cool. And Westchester was a mecca of drive-in theaters. The Tropicare, which is located right across from Tropical Park, and I love the drive-in movies. Where, in case you don't know, you get a car, you drive in, it's on a big screen, you could get out, put a lawn chair, or just walk around. This was pretty exciting.
And those beautiful high-quality speakers that you would hang on your window there,
And if you remembered, and take it off before you leave, otherwise
always better to take it off.
It just stayed on you. And there was one on Coral Way called the Coral Way Theater. Wait a minute, this isn't one of the things where you hide people in the trunk and you drive in and they don't have to pay.
That may have happened.
Yes, that did happen.
Yes.
Okay, so we went to the drive-in movie theater, and they said, what are we going to do tomorrow night? Bonfire over on Key Biscayne. What? You could do this? Yes. So we're right back in the groove again. We're going to have a bonfire out on Key Biscayne. We're hanging out. You can't do that today.
No.
I mean, I love the bonfire in Key Biscayne. Now, I'm going back to school, and Jack says, okay, we left our guns, our surfboards, everything in the milk truck. We just abandoned it. Can you go find the milk truck and recover our things? Oh yeah. So we go to the fraternity house. Okay, road trip, party, party, party. So I gather up all these fraternity guys, and we're gonna go find the milk truck. It's abandoned. Okay, there it is. This is them at Ed's DX gas station. You can see they're trying to repair it.
Yes.
It's not getting repaired. So, but we're going to go find out where it is. Ed's DX gas station, Hartford, Michigan.
Road trip.
Okay, let's go on a road trip. Okay. These were common. You'd gather up male and female, and you'd get in a car, and you'd just take off. And this is going to be an all-day, all-night adventure to find this milk truck, and we are going to find it.
It's sort of like the Holy Grail. Oh my.
There it is. It was in the middle of a cow field, abandoned. It still had the gun. It's a rifle. It still had a surfboard. It had weights because, we tried to stay in shape while we're on the way. And I took everything I could out of that milk truck. And I said, okay, we just knelt down and said a little prayer, and the milk truck is still there. Now, I have been threatening to go back and see if I could find it. Now, what are the chances of it being there after 60 years? You don't know.
You know, what we're saying is there is a chance. There's a chance.
There's my dog Queenie, who I dearly loved. It got passed down to all the kids, and Queenie was the greatest dog in the whole world.
A very noble beast.
I love you, Queenie.
Oh,
Okay, for those of you that always thought I was pretty old,
no, I remember
at
that.
one time I was young and I entered a bodybuilding contest, which I won. I was Mr. Sport Rooms of like 1975 or something.
Yes, I remember this.
So there, I think the class of '81 put this in the yearbook. That's
As
where
well
I
they
found
should
it.
have. That's an immortal photo.
Now, this is from one of the places we used to hang out. It's right in South Miami. Today it's a sushi bar. This was the most notorious hangout. People went in there and never came out again.
It was a disreputable place.
Oh man, it was my kind of place.
Yeah.
Now remember, we had records. Well, we had 4 records. And if you'd like to go get these records and research it and know the kind of music we were listening to, Bob Dylan, Gail Garnett, I'll Sing in the Sunshine.
See, I knew the song. I didn't know the artist.
Okay, Animals, The House of the Rising Sun. Remember, we had a real record player. This is 78s, and you put them in there. And the Rolling Stones, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And we played that the entire way, over and over and over
That'll
again.
get you through a road trip.
It was great. And this was an epic journey, the likes of which I've never done anything quite like that again. And for me, it was very spectacular and something that I would encourage everybody, if you're capable of doing something like this, with no destination in mind, but just enjoy the journey along the way and all the people you meet and all the things that you're allowed to do.
I couldn't agree more, because in the end, it's not the destination, it's the journey that matters.
For us, it certainly was.
You know? And I'd like to point out to our audience that you recently turned 80 years young.
I did.
And to look back on this, it's got to be sort of a full circle moment of a life well lived with plenty of time. You know, the best is yet to come, as I see it.
And it had a Marist connection when we went to Marist College. And remember, this all happened because we went to Columbus. We were together at Columbus, we were together on the milk truck, and it was an inspiration to us. And I'd like to think that Columbus did have something to do with this. But it was a great adventure and something I'll remember for the rest of my life. I wonder how much longer I have to live. I think maybe the actuaries would say maybe 15 years.
I think the actuaries are on your side.
Okay.
Time is on your side, if I can quote the Rolling Stones. Yes.
Very good. And that's one of their songs we listen to also.
You know, you have the perpetual oak out there as well, so you will live forever here. I hope so. But
I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to tell this story, and I really enjoyed our time together here, and hope everyone who watches this, if we're an older student, you heard this story. Remember, everybody heard this story from 1968 to 1991.
Yes.
That you go back in time and kind of reflect about a little bit your time at Columbus. Or if it's new, you're going to look at this and say, my God, what was wrong with those people?
You know, it would be great if a father, a graduate, and his son watched this together. There we go.
That would be bonding.
Yes, it would be. Dr. Burrus, I cannot thank you enough, my friend. Explorer Nation, we hope you've enjoyed this journey through the past. The epic, never to be repeated milk truck story now exists in perpetuity. So enjoy it over and over. Until next time, this has been Buenos Tiempos, no doubt. Adelante, guys.
Peace out, brothers.